What a crazy story this morning about the car that went flying, Celeste. How did it happen?
Is this not AI generated? This is
totally
wild.
Not AI. Can you imagine? I mean, the guy was only airborne for like, I don't know, maybe 6-7 seconds.
Oh,
but
my
what's going through his mind at that moment? Huh?
And he's probably thinking, what's going to happen what goes up must come down. So what's going to happen when I finally hit the ground?
You know what? He's thinking, I am going to have 2 flat tires. I don't know what else is going to happen, but I'm going to have 2 flat tires.
No kidding.
Oh, my goodness.
That is, he took that corner way too fast.
Yeah, he did. And, the thing about it is there was a police pursuit in the whole situation.
Yeah.
We're going to show you the whole video coming up in just a moment.
Okay.
But also coming up today on Fox 10 Talks, that missing hiker. When we found out this guy was between 70 and 80 years old, I think we were all pretty worried about how it was going to end. But they found him alive.
It is so remarkable. And so we're going to hear more about, how did he survive while he was out for several days? And it was north of the valley. There
are some hikes this time of year that you want to get kind of knocked out,
yes.
I guess you could say, before it gets too hot. Plus, the big surprise on Capitol Hill today was why is one of the biggest names in the history of the NFL, first ballot Hall of Famer, Larry Fitzgerald, in this hearing about the Federal Reserve.
And it wasn't just like a few rows back or sitting in the back or standing room only. He was over the right shoulder of the person who was actually sitting front and center.
I know.
It actually is quite interesting. I mean, he's a very smart individual.
Yes, he is.
So is he next in the cabinet?
Wouldn't that be nice? Let's figure out what job he could be doing there. If I was a senator, I'd be like, hey, Warsh, whatever, you're in. Let me ask Fitz a couple of 3 questions here.
Let's talk about why you didn't announce you were actually retiring.
Okay, so that's coming up. And then let's see, what's the other thing that we got coming up? McDonald's rolling out their new $3 and $4 menu.
Let's hope they're leading the way on this and that a lot of the other fast food chains, they follow suit.
Yeah.
Because it's about time.
Okay, so then the other thing that we did want to just mention to you is we got a great story here we're going to be following about dynamic pricing. Okay. So the whole idea is that these stores are like, hey, we got the technology. You know, what they say is, oh, we can lower prices when it's middle of the day and we don't have as many shoppers. But then everybody else looks at it and says, yeah, but you'll be jacking them up in the evening when people are getting home.
So this is something that grocery stores are thinking of doing?
Yes, and even other stores too. So there's one state already that says they're going to nip it in the bud. Here's the poll question. Story's coming up a little bit later, but we'd love to get your opinion on it. Yeah, they shouldn't be allowed to change prices by the hour, but that's 79%. 21% are saying, no, don't we have enough laws already? And then your third option, maybe someday, but it's not even a problem right now. We're even starting to get some votes on YouTube. We just launched.
Yeah, we did 32 minutes ago. We launched this. We've got about 600 votes or so, and it's very rare where we have the numbers align on YouTube with what we're seeing on television because sometimes it can be different audiences. So right now, 84% of you say yes, they should be allowed to change prices they should not, that is, be allowed to change prices by the hour. No, don't we have enough laws, on the books about this? 12% say that, and then 4% say maybe someday, but it's not even a problem right now.
Okay, so that's coming up. And then, Celeste, can I just tell you, remember yesterday we were talking about who are our celebrity doppelgangers?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And so we now have created basically what it would look like if we had a chance to meet these superstar celebrities.
And not only if we had the chance to meet, but what would we be doing if we had an opportunity to hang with them?
Yeah, wait till you see what Celeste... This is an Ask AI segment. The boss came up with that idea, and it actually is one of our favorite things we ever do.
It's pretty funny.
So that's coming up. Plus, think about this. Tim Hattrick, KNIX.
Yes.
He's going to join us in a few minutes. Who does he look like? We have a great celebrity, because yesterday was National Lookalike.
Yes, it was.
And so that's why we thought, that'll be fun.
This is going to be a great talker. And Tim is so much fun at KNIX. You can really, let loose with him. Yes.
Okay, so ready? Here we go with story number one. This is the pursuit. Now, this is happening over in North Yorkshire. That was the wrong move right there. Police pursuit, and here goes the driver of this vehicle. And the next thing you're going to see is the camera, the traffic cam. Here we go. Ready?
Oh, wow.
Oh, man. Did it land on all fours?
Oh, my gosh. And it didn't roll onto the rooftop, but it rolled.
It landed the correct way.
Yeah. Wow. Here it is again.
The thing that's confusing about it. Okay, here we go. Slow-mo. Ready?
Wow.
Oh, that driver is so lucky that they didn't, flip over the top of their hood. So here's what's going on. This goes back to last year, July of last year. And this lady, her name is Ashley Parr, got 16 months in the lockup after the high-speed pursuit. You can't. They always say you can't outrace a radio.
No.
So even if she thought she could get away with that first, get away from the first police car, you're never going to get away completely, and you don't want... Imagine the phone call you're going to make to your insurance person.
And not just that, but, is this really worth it? Mm-hmm. Is it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen? I guess you get arrested for a couple of days if you have a warrant out or something like that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But, this could have killed her.
Yes. Oh, Celeste, you're exactly right. Well, I guess it was a DUI, not a shocker there. So maybe... by the way, they have both drunk driving and drugged driving.
Oh.
Here we just call it a DUI either way, whether you're under the influence. But Ashley, she gets some serious time. She got a carve out about 1.5 years now.
Oh, my goodness.
Her life. I don't know if she's a mom or how old is she again? 30 years old? 35?
Yeah, very young, 35.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope that this is an opportunity for her to do a big reset. You know what I mean?
Yes. If anybody needs a reset today, it's Ashley.
Ash, you need a reset, sister. Make it happen.
You do.
Yeah.
Time to make some better decisions.
Yeah.
Maybe make a phone call to your mother.
And at 35, you have your whole life ahead of you.
Yes.
So just, she could meet the man of her dreams in 3 years after a big reset. Have children. Next thing you know, she's like a Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart didn't get started till she was 50, really, with her big business.
I didn't see that twist come, Celeste, but I'm sure Martha Stewart loves us talking about that in this whole car chase. So can you imagine?
I'm just saying.
Can you imagine Martha Stewart in a car chase?
I'm just saying. Ash, you can really make something of yourself if you do the hard reset.
Yes, there you go. Yeah. All right, so here's this is the story that I think a lot of folks in our newsroom were talking about today. In fact, people all over the country were talking about it today because the next guy to run the Federal Reserve, looks like he'll probably, get through, he showed up with one of his best buds. Check this out. We call this like a two-shot because you're going to focus on the guy who's speaking, but then your eyes are going to go over to maybe the all-time best and favorite Cardinals player ever.
So let me be very clear. Monetary policy independence is essential. Monetary policy makers must act in the nation's interest. Their decisions the product of rigor, deliberation, and unclouded decision-making. And as Senator Warren said, I do not believe that independence of monetary policy is threatened when elected officials state their views on rates. Fed independence is up to the Fed.
So there you go. That's the whole pushback is, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You're going to just be doing the bidding of the president. He's like, look, I'm still, I have a brain. I have all my degrees. I've been successful in my businesses. We're going to be making decisions as a group based on what the data shows. That's what he's been saying.
Yes. And here's the thing. We're not the only ones talking about this. You have all the big national publications online, on social media, all talking about what is Larry Fitzgerald doing behind Kevin Warsh?
Right.
And so people are wondering what's happening. I'm trying to think of what he majored in college,
when he was at Pitt.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I thought maybe their connection is there, because we've been kind of digging into it, and it turns out that they're friends. Larry's has had a successful business career as well as a football career.
Yes.
So somehow their paths crossed, but they both have that Pennsylvania connection. So Kevin Warsh, he was actually introduced by the senator from Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Larry Fitzgerald spent all of his college years in Pennsylvania going to Pitt.
Yeah. So maybe at some point their roads crossed.
Here's what we need to do, Celeste. Now, this is just an idea off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Let's reach out to our TMZ DC bureau.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Come on, you guys. You got a way bigger name than anybody else in that room.
Yes.
Larry Fitzgerald. What's the friendship?
Well, like Yahoo Sports UK is saying, here's an update for you.
Okay.
They're apparently friends.
Okay.
Him and Kevin Warsh. And maybe Kev was like, hey, Larry, will you, have my back here,
Oh.
and,
sure.
just come and support me and we'll grab some lunch after.
Well, if there was a lunch involved, come on, it's kind of pricey there in D.C.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe.
Hey, look, before we go to break, one other quick story to talk about. I think this is so exciting, Celeste. Honeywell has announced that they are going to start manufacturing state-of-the-art aircraft for the military right here in the Valley. This is so great. The engines that they make are going to be for Navy training aircraft, and they're working now on securing big-time multi-million-dollar contracts with the U.S. Navy for those jets starting in 2027. And we're talking about some 200 of them being created in that first go-round. They already make the Apache attack helicopter with Boeing out in Mesa.
Right.
So let's become the aerospace capital of the USA.
Well, and I think it's really brilliant because then you have the idea of jobs coming to the Valley, right?
Yes.
So then that means, of course, we're going to need more people who can actually do that job and build these engines there at Honeywell. I mean, it's a big business here in the Valley.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Huge business.
Okay.
They got a couple different locations.
Hey, also coming up next, if you had any doubts about how successful Buc-ee's is going to be here in Arizona, wait till you hear what happened yesterday. They just opened a brand new store back east.
Yes, they did.
Stories coming up.
Yeah, how much money they actually made in one day. Woohoo. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everyone, here at 10:15 on your Tuesday. You're looking live at one beautiful shot, so we are going to be Cortez 91. Good morning, my friend. Nice to see you. Happy Tuesday from Queen Creek. Let's give a few of you some shouts out this morning. Darla Weatherholt. Hello, all. If we have some new chatters, let us know where you're watching from this morning. Diana 572. Good morning. Nice to see you. Little Philosophy, as well as I believe we have B. Miguel in here somewhere, and Outlaw Dynamo also sharing a bit of your morning with us. So we love it. If you are watching on television on Fox 10, head on over to YouTube and you can join the chat as well. Just look up Fox 10 Phoenix, go to the live option, click on that, and you can see the video right there. Press on it. You can watch us on YouTube on your phone, tablet, laptop, whatever. Even if you want to watch on TV, then you can join the chat on YouTube and vote in the YouTube chat and all kinds of fun stuff as well, Ron.
Hey, sometimes we give you guys the news, and then sometimes you give us the news.
Yeah.
This is the most interactive show you're ever going to find on TV. And online.
Yes.
On YouTube. I know some people like to watch us on YouTube because they can join the chat and join the comments and everything. But at the same time, when we hear from you, then we jump on the stories that are the big stories this morning. I am sad as a longtime fan of the Osmonds to report that one of the members of the family-based band, Alan Osmond, passed away last night.
Yeah, 76 years old, the eldest of the Osmonds family. And some of you were in the chat speaking about it as well this morning. And so and then we decided, hey, oh my goodness, this happened. And so then we started doing a little bit of research. So thank you for sharing. My goodness, the Osmonds.
Okay, so let's find out just a little bit more about that. He is the oldest member of the family band. This, I believe, is now the second member of the band to pass away. It was about 8:30 last night. They're telling us that his wife and his kids were by his side. And Merrill Osmond saying, "My brother has now stepped into the presence of our Father in heaven with honor and peace."
Oh, and listen to this. It said Alan's brother, Merrill Osmond, also confirmed the news on Facebook, writing that he'd had a heart-to-heart with his late sibling 2 days before his passing.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that happens sometimes. In fact, I saw the article the other day that said, why it feels like there are more family dynamics that are going like this than there used to be.
Yeah.
And people are trying to figure out.
So it's good that they actually talked.
You know what? Let's do this. Let's bring in Tim.
Hey, Tim.
KNIX. Of course,
hi, guys.
We all know that Tim, is the king of country music morning radio.
Yes, very true.
But I'm sure you either have a story about the Osmonds or like a favorite Osmond song. Yes?
I've got Osmond stories for hours. So
kidding.
It was the Tim and Willie show, and our very first station was at KRQ in Tucson.
Yeah.
And this is 90, 91-ish. A guy puts out a hit record, and it's called Soldier of Love. But we're not allowed to say who it is. We don't even know who it is, but it's a good pop tune. That's KRQ's a pop station in Tucson.
Okay.
And we played it without saying who it was. And then we finally revealed after it became a hit, it was Donny Osmond.
Oh.
We had not heard from Donny Osmond for, since he was the Osmonds and Donny and Marie show. And so
One bad
they
apple.
were afraid.
Yeah.
If they said this is Donny Osmond, people would be like, oh, that guy, forget it. But it was a good song, and it relaunched his career as a, late 20s, maybe 35-year-old guy. Who knows? But it was really good. And so he actually came and did one of our Christmas shows, and he did that song, and he forgot the lyrics, and Willie jumped up and played his sax with him. It was a great moment from the early days of the Tim and Willie show.
Oh, that is so amazing. It's amazing when you see how many people you've crossed paths with, Tim. I mean, you were just chatting with Aldine, and then you were in there in the beginning of Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift out at Anthem, the outlets at Anthem, the Christmas show. And she shows up as a 15-year-old girl, and we get up and we play her song with her. And I just thought, this girl's cute. I don't think she's going to make it. I wasn't right.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, well, we know that you're familiar with most celebrities that are out there. Let's gauge your familiarity with the very popular gas station chain called Buc-ee's.
God.
Have you been to a Buc-ee's?
I know, but all I hear about is Buc-ee's. I drove by it the other day, like maybe last week, and they'd finally taken the tarps down on the chain link fence, and you can see it's like as far as the eye can see, the gas pumps go. Now, I've not been in the store, but we're all excited for, what is it, June sometime when it's going to open finally.
June 22nd.
People who know say that this is like a super big thing. I can't wait.
No. Well, so I've been to a few of them. I think they have something like 14 different tastes of beef jerky.
Wow.
They have a fudge section. Look right there.
Look at that.
Sausage, fudge, pulled pork. I mean, you could live in one of these stores, Tim, and then if you ever had to use the facilities,
yes,
they have the fanciest bathrooms at any location.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned this, Tim. Listen to this, because when I think of truck stop, I think of two things: gas and the restroom. It's a pit stop on where, in the middle of where you're going.
And they have artwork on the walls, artwork in the bathroom, and you can buy it. You can walk in, do your business, and walk out with a painting and pay for it.
So listen to this. For example, in New Braunfels, Texas, the Buc-ee's has 83 toilet fixtures.
Wow.
50 full door stalls and 33 urinals for the men.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Sure.
Who's going to employ more people? Is it going to be Buc-ee's or that chip plant they're building?
Good
the microchip.
And who's going to have the better bathrooms?
Yeah.
True.
Right.
True.
I'm excited. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Well,
when I drove by it and I could see the gas pumps, I felt like this is what people must feel when they first lay eyes on the Great Wall of China. I just felt like this is so.
Yeah. Well, it's fantastic. They just opened their newest store back on the East Coast somewhere, Celeste.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what the
I think it was in
location
Ohio.
Yeah.
And they said in one day, the very first day they opened, they made $1 million in profit in one day because so many people were hyped up about it. Like B Cortez 91 in the chat. Listen to this, Tim. We love Buc-ee's. We go every time we're in Texas and cannot wait. The brisket sandwiches are amazing. Mint fudge is on point, Ron.
Right?
Mint fudge.
I know. It's really amazing. We're excited about it, that's for sure. Hey, so Tim, we got a couple more topics to get to. Let's talk a little bit about Nashville. I know you've been to Nashville multiple times.
You bet.
It sounds like they're going to implode this stadium, their old stadium, and build a brand new one. And maybe in time for the Super Bowl. Who knows?
Wow, it's incredible.
Right. According to the Dan Patrick Show, he said there's no official word on this, but he's hearing from good sources that the 2030 Super Bowl will be in Nashville. You're right. They're going to take down what has been Nissan Stadium, and they're going to put up a covered stadium that's going to have all the amenities, all the fancy modern things, and they would like to get the Super Bowl there for 2030. Now, I want to take you back to 2019, and what must have caught the attention of the NFL, they did the NFL draft party in downtown Nashville, the street that's basically leads up to the stadium, Lower Broadway, and 600,000 people showed up. It was the most people who'd ever shown up for an NFL draft party, and it was the most watched, and it turned what was the draft, the NFL draft, this boring thing, into kind of a cultural annual event that now they all have to outdo each other. By the way, this year's, it's going to be Thursday night in Pittsburgh. But that had to have, it looked like the greatest party. Tim McGraw played, other country stars. And the big thing about having the Super Bowl in Nashville, we hope, would get a country act for the halftime show.
Wow.
Yeah,
let's hope so.
Right.
Who would be like a great country act you would like to see in the halftime show?
Yeah, give us your best guess, and then we've got some guesses too.
Okay, well, it's got to be, I'm thinking Garth. Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
Morgan Wallen is the hottest and the most mass appeal of all the country artists right now. Probably Luke Combs is right behind him, and perhaps Carrie Underwood, who has long been the singer of the Sunday Night Football song. So those are a good core. I think you got to have Dolly Parton parachute in during the half-hour show.
Not after what happened at Virginia Tech the other day.
Oh, no.
We don't want
Yeah,
Dolly
I
in
saw
the scoreboard.
Not for Dolly.
Oh
No,
my gosh, yeah, you have to have Dolly involved. You're so right.
Yeah, for
At
sure.
some point, yeah. Who do you guys think?
I was going to go Thomas Rhett. He has a song out. Are you guys playing that new song of his, Ain't a Bad Life?
Yeah. Yes.
That is my number one favorite song of the year.
That's cool.
Good for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got good taste.
Song. Yeah.
By the way, back to that draft that was in 2019. Do you remember who the first pick was?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It was Kyler
Murray. I was just going to say coincidentally.
The Arizona Cardinals, they took,
he had that pink suit.
Oh my gosh. You know.
And now Kyler is going to be standing on his tippy toes trying to look over the players for the Minnesota Vikings. Just good luck to him there.
Yeah, we wish him well.
Right.
We wish him well. We want him to have a good, life moving forward.
Exactly.
We just want to have like a great team too here at the Cardinals.
I know.
Like I know,
it will be weird to see him playing for Minnesota.
But here's the thing. Maybe we don't need like a big superstar quarterback. Maybe we just need a quarterback who is good enough and a great leader on and off the field. But we need a great O-line and a couple of good receivers and a good running back.
Look at Celeste breaking it down. Cardinals, do you have her in the war room for Thursday night? Can I tell you a quick funny story about the Cardinals?
Yeah.
Last Thursday, Brooke and I go to this event at Kurt and Brenda Warner's house. Beautiful, my mansion in Scottsdale. It's to benefit Treasure House, their charity.
Okay.
And there's people there. Kane Brown, country artist, is going to play this party, Kurt Warner's backyard, for like 250 people. While he is setting up, I'm just standing there. I don't know where Brooke is at the time. A guy walks up and he says, "Hey, are you the radio guy?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I heard about this concert you guys do, mystery concert." He said, "My buddy pointed out the theater while I was running Pat's Run last weekend." I go, "Oh, it's the Marquee." I go, "Yeah, I'm Tim. You're talking about the KNIX Secret Show." He says, "Man, that sounds so cool. I'd love to go to one." I go, "Well, if you give me your number, I'll maybe get you tickets if we ever have another one." And we will.
Yeah. 10 seconds.
He said, "Yeah, this is great. I just moved here for my job." I go, "What do you do?" He said, "I'm the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals."
We got to take a break. Tim, hang with us. We'll be right back.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious.
All right. And so we were scattering to get to the break, and we didn't actually remind you that this is the Mystery Cam. The way we're doing it now is we get you a preview at 10:15.
Right.
You can think about it, noodle it around in your head.
I think we had some people actually, post their guesses at 10:15 in the chat.
Yeah.
We had a couple people. I'm going to kind of go through the chat and see if you guys haven't guessed yet, or you want to, post it again. That would be great. We have a South Carolina from Lil Philosophy.
Right.
And we also have a Pennsylvania as well.
Oh, wow.
And an Idaho from Sammy G. What do you guys think? Bells joins us now here at the table. Hey, Bells.
Yeah. So what's that, Bella?
Somewhere in Washington.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good guess.
Yeah, with the Great Northwest.
Yeah.
That's where she grew
I'm going to go
up.
with Idaho on this one, too.
I like Idaho. What were some of our other guesses, Celeste?
North Carolina.
I'm going to go North Carolina.
All right, here we
Ready?
go.
All right, so ladies
Here
and gentlemen,
is your mystery
here we
camera.
go.
Tafton, Pennsylvania. Wow, that's a really cool shot.
Oh, I forgot we have Kelly in this week.
Yes.
And his penmanship is perfect. I don't know if you guys can actually see.
Well done, Kelly. Well done,
A little
buddy.
bit hard. Yeah. Anyway, there we go. Tafton, Pennsylvania. So
Yes.
none of us got it.
No.
But we do have Isabella Joy.
It's Lake Wallenpaupack.
Oh.
Lake Wallenpaupack.
Okay, great.
Wallenpaupack.
Fun name.
Hey, Bells.
Hi.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining. We're going to talk about dynamic pricing. I knew I didn't like this idea when the very first time
No.
I even heard the phrase. I'm like, dynamic pricing.
No.
I like walking into a store.
Yes.
Can you imagine you're in the store and you're going through your list? I do this all the time. Renee gives me a list, and I'm like, maybe I'll be down that aisle. And I got to remember to go get something else. So I got to run over and get the detergent. And then you come back, and the potato chips in the last 10 minutes went up $1.
It's
Can
awful.
you imagine?
It's awful.
It's a scam. Not a fan.
Well, I mean, I know they have the technology to do it and everything, but we're seeing our first state that is slamming on the brakes. So there's a governor over there. His name is Wes Moore, and I have been telling people, keep an eye on him. I think he's got a really bright political future, and I'm not going to be surprised if someday he runs for president. But anyway, Maryland looks like it's on its way to becoming the first state of all 50 to ban dynamic pricing in the grocery store. The bill zeroes in on a system that uses technology to adjust prices throughout the day. So that sounds sinister enough.
I think we need to alert our state legislators in Arizona, and many of you are watching from all over the country in your respective states, to do something similar.
Yeah, and the other thing is, not only is it going to stop them from adjusting it up or down, depending on the time of day, apparently they even have the technology to show different prices to different customers, especially online. So that's probably already happening.
So that it's interesting you mentioned that, Ron.
Yeah.
So, Bells, this is what I just read. This was an article in Taste of Home magazine, and it talked about how if you use Instacart out there, this is where they are utilizing it the most. According to this article, it says that Amazon, of course, we know because it's an online marketplace, it changes prices millions of times daily based on behavior and competitor data. Walmart implementing digital shelf tags in all stores to instantly update prices, aiming for a full rollout by the end of 2026. Kroger is testing it, so is Target. Whole Foods is as well. Kohl's and Best Buy. And so you have grocery, but right now it's with Instacart. It says it can lead to price variations depending on who you are and what you purchase. That's
don't like
according to
that.
Taste of Home.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
No, I
That is
know it.
a bummer.
I feel like, remember yesterday the big story was self-checkout. And I feel like we, the shoppers, of the grocery shoppers of the world, just sort of kind of watch that happen without saying, no, I still want to check out with a person. Besides, you're cutting people's jobs.
Yeah.
I wanted it to stay the way it was. But it just sort of crept up on us. And now do you notice You can go to a big store, whether it's a big super grocery store or a smaller one. They maybe have one person working, even though they have like 15 aisles.
I saw that at Target the other day.
And then they put you in there. So
even at Circle K. Have you guys been into a Circle K lately?
Yes.
I ran in the other day to a Circle K or 7-Eleven, and they have a little pay as you go. Maybe you want to, if you are watching and you've, maybe tried this at a store, let us know what store. Okay. But they have a kiosk. You just walk up, put the item underneath like this camera, and it like scans it. You pay at the kiosk, and you're outie.
They have that at the airports too.
Yes.
They will have these kiosks, and there's not even a worker, and you just grab the product and scan it.
Well,
it's nuts.
I don't know. Don't get me started on that.
We need to block these situations.
The thing
protect
about it
consumers.
Is, I'm going to reveal a little bit of my personality that you guys don't know about me.
Okay.
And Celeste, what are you laughing at? I'm a little bit tight with a doll.
No.
I know that shocks you.
I do not think that at all.
But so we were stuck at the airport last September, whatever the day was. I think it was like the 25th, whenever we had that really bad storm. I was with the grandkids. We were trying to fly out to go watch the Huskies, my beloved Washington Huskies, play Ohio State. And we never got out. But we had a lot of time to kill. So I thought, because it was 3 of my grandkids and my son, Jordan, and then me.
Yeah.
And I thought this could get expensive if we go eat at one of the main restaurants there. It could be $100.
Easily.
So I said, I'm going to go to one of these kiosks in Terminal 3, and we'll just grab some food real quick. Well, we kiosk priced the burrito $13 airport dollars.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yes.
Well,
it's expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, even like a water is like runs you like
$6.
Yes, for a small one.
You want the big smart waters?
Oh
it's
my
closer
gosh,
to $10.
it is.
Okay, well, let's do this. Let's look at our poll question this morning because we are getting votes. Bella, I know you've had a chance to start looking at some people's comments on this. Do we need some new laws to stop stores from dynamic pricing? 81% say, yeah, they shouldn't be allowed to change those prices by the hour. 18% are saying, no, don't we have enough laws already? 1% are saying, maybe someday, but it's really not even a problem right now. Oh, hold on. I need to pull up the YouTube poll question.
Okay, so
there we go.
I just refreshed it.
Thank you.
This was refreshed 1 hour ago. We posted this, and the numbers are relatively the same, though, in terms of percentages. We have 1.1 thousand votes right now on this. 83% of the people say, yes, they should not be allowed to change prices by the hour. The other numbers are pretty comparable as well. But, Bells, you've been looking at comments?
Yeah, there's about 50 comments right now, and normally the comments are opposite sides of the spectrum, but today, everyone in the comments is saying that we need to take care of the consumers. Some examples, What Wheat Bears 48 says dynamic pricing is just advanced price gouging. Pussy says dynamic pricing needs to be taken away now. Music P8 says most businesses have been price gouging since COVID. I think everything's gotten worse since the pandemic. Just the rest of the comments are pretty much on the same theme of we need to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
good point.
I mean, they make some really good points. And then in the food world, there's Red Lobster.
Yes. Bells, are you stoked about this?
Endless Shrimp returns.
I am so excited.
I think we're going to go. Right, Bells, do you want to go, me, you, and Abs?
Let's go.
Let's go to get some endless shrimp.
Let's go this weekend.
Ron?
Okay. Yeah, I'm on board.
I would love to go.
Good. I love the idea of the 4 of us getting together. We will talk for 6 hours. They'll have to kick us out of the Red Lobster.
We can debrief our week without Dave.
There you go. And cry.
So one Red Lobster location told Fox Business it's going to be priced at $24.99 per person, which is up a little bit from when did they do it before? It was a couple, 3 years ago. Anyway, it was about $20 then. Other locations reportedly are going to price it at $29.99, but it includes. Do you know anybody that did it the first time around? Anybody?
What do you mean?
I mean, who jumped on it
It
a
ended
few
in
years
2014,
ago?
right? Is that
think
what it
so.
was?
They
Oh,
blamed
when
it.
we were little, we used to go all the time. My sister, her favorite was the all-you-can-eat shrimp.
Really?
So when we were little, we would go to Red Lobster. We were like, we're in Phoenix. To us, this was seafood.
Prime seafood.
I know for you guys in the Pacific Northwest, like Gary laughs at me when I'm like, I love Pete's fish and chips. He's like, oh, come on. But yeah, like we used to do this. Is like old timers.
I haven't been to Pete's in years, and I was downtown Mesa the other day.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm going to hit up the Pete's. And I got 2 fish fillets. Mm-hmm. I didn't want the fries or the drink. I didn't get the meal.
Okay.
And it was like $4.
Wow.
And I was totally filled
There you go.
with the 2.
And it was. Are they still cash only?
Cash only.
Cash only.
Don't even try with your plastic. Anyway, so here's the question for you guys. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else that we wish would go on an all-you-can-eat menu? Just dream about this for a moment, because if it works for, for Red Lobster, maybe there's some other food item that you could have an all-you-can-eat. And I guess the way it would work would be do you have to go to the restaurant? Can you literally go at lunch and then come back for dinner? Do you know what the rules are at Red Lobster?
I don't know what the rules are.
Yeah.
But maybe you do a late lunch. Like after church, you go for it's 1 o'clock or something usually.
Unless the preacher goes long.
Then it might be an early dinner.
and sometimes the pastor is like, hold on, I know y'all are hungry. Let me finish this. Let me finish the sermon.
And people are getting up and leaving. He's like, let me say the closing prayer here and bless the congregation. The first, I hate to say it, but the first thing that popped into my mind was Burger King. If you had an all-you-can-eat Whopper program, you could pick one up for lunch. Mm-hmm. Now what? Are you disagreeing with me?
No, I think that's a great idea.
Okay. And then if you could come back for dinner, 6 hours later and get a second Whopper, how does it get any better than that?
Also, unlimited with all of the fries.
Oh, that's
have a little
good.
fry sampler.
Oh, yeah, sure.
All the different fries.
Yeah, I remember Red Robin used to have those bottomless fries.
Yes,
they're
the
so
little
good.
Basket.
Yes, the basket with the
fries.
seasonings at the table. I will say that my favorite place, which I want them to bring back, is Sweet Tomatoes.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Right?
Or like Super Salad.
Either that or bring back more Sizzlers.
They have a Sweet Tomatoes in Tucson. It's the only one standing right now.
Really?
And Megan and I have driven all the way down to Tucson to get it.
I don't think they have one in Switzerland just yet.
No.
But wow, look at Zermatt live in Mount. Oh, look how the Matterhorn is amazing. We're right back after this. Okay, so that is spectacular. It's just about the end of the day in Switzerland, and you're looking at the Matterhorn and Zermatt, and that's beautiful. But you guys, you want to talk beautiful. Did you happen to catch our sunrise this morning? That is super cool. So what you're seeing there is the Papago Buttes. It's a little bit hard to make out because it was a little bit dark. But boy, when the sun came up this morning, we had just the right amount of clouds. It was very beautiful. Jeff Haggerty giving us the time lapse there.
That is gorgeous.
Stunning.
How about that? So anyway, we're shooting right over the top of the Chase Field. The D-backs are only, 2 or 3 games behind the Dodgers for first place?
Oh, yeah, it's big time.
Hot.
I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so the other story, Bella, that we wanted to chat with you about is that McDonald's has rolled out their new value menu.
Yes, this is big time.
Okay,
It's exciting.
so Bella, here's something you don't know. The first time I ever decided to splurge on the value menu was when they rolled out their $5 and $6 menu.
Mm-hmm.
There's a McDonald's right by your hometown. I think it's actually in Kent by the Fred Meyers.
I know exactly
Do
which
you
one
know
you're
where that
talking
McDonald's
about.
is?
Yes.
Okay. I was up there for a Husky football game, and I'm like, man, I really want a burger. And so I went over and tried it, the $5 meal. I really thought it was a great deal.
Yeah,
Did you
okay.
ever try that, Celeste?
No, not the $5 meal.
Did you splurge and go 6?
I went like 6.
Okay.
And sometimes I like a big Diet Coke, so
I hear ya. Okay, so they're going to do a 3 and under meal and a 4 and under meal. And
Wow.
here's what we're learning about so far. They have a breakfast meal deal that I think they're going to, I think all of these go into effect today.
Yeah.
And so here's what we are learning. The breakfast meal deal for $4 is going to include a sausage McMuffin or a sausage biscuit. What is that?
I don't know, but we could have
on.
that's
Wait, I'm hitting.
that's like vacay.
Ronnie, I'm hitting VO9 McDonald's.
Well, if you do the McDonald's value meal, you can have more
afford.
money to go on
man.
vacation.
Yes.
Okay,
There we
you
go.
I guess the gist of the whole thing is you save so much money at McDonald's.
Yeah.
You can then afford a
Yes.
getaway to the Caribbean.
Yeah. The only thing is you may never mind.
Okay. So here's what's 3 and under. You can see them all right there. It would be, as we say, the sausage McMuffin or the biscuit with the hash browns and a drink. Mm-hmm. Those are the $3 items. Oh.
What is that on the bottom? Is that a fish fillet
I think
sandwich?
that's the fish fillet, or it could be their chicken sandwich. It might be the chicken sandwich. But anyway, then they at $4. Oh, wait a sec. So over to the right is the $4.
Yes, what comes with
And
the drink.
to the left are items that are 3 and less. There
Yeah.
we go.
Wow.
And then they are going to have a new McChicken meal deal for $5. And there's going to be some nuggets and some of those kind of things. So anyway, I think it's great.
I'm
Yeah, that's
excited. I love
think-
a hash brown.
And I think I mentioned this, Ron, to you earlier, but I hope that other fast food chains follow suit.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, because you just need one person to kind of like take the first step,
And
Yeah.
others will follow.
and others will follow.
Okay, now this is so interesting, though, you guys, because you know how we just slammed dynamic pricing?
Yeah.
Here's what they say. Now, if dynamic pricing only means lowering it, I'm totally on board.
Absolutely.
100%. Yes.
So here's what they say. They're going to occasionally spotlight selected items on the 3 and under menu
Okay.
and price them even lower.
Oh.
So, for example, the sausage McMuffin occasionally will drop down
To like
dynamic pricing.
99 cents or something, maybe.
$1.50,
I
you
love
know?
that.
Yeah,
I love that
that's a great idea.
Okay,
And
so
it's-
now we're on board with dynamic.
We just need the places to do the 2 tacos for $1, like Jack.
oh my gosh, remember when that was? Did they still have that?
To my knowledge, yeah.
Wow, 2 for
We
$1.
need that everywhere.
Okay, that is
Those,
really
I
cool.
mean, I used to eat those like around the clock when I was
Same.
preggers. I survived pregnancy on those
And
things.
look at the 3 beautiful kids
Yeah.
you
Aw,
guys
thank you,
created.
Ron.
So apparently there's some truth to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's real meat, I have no idea.
They're yummy.
But it's delicious.
Okay, Bella, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good job,
Bella's
Bella.
going to
Thank
go
you. Good to
get
have
our
you.
guest. We have a guest coming
Yes,
up
we
in just a minute or
do.
two, but a couple of other stories that we wanted to talk about with you this morning. The really good news about the missing hiker. By the way, we have some beautiful hikes in Arizona, and this is one right here. This is a guy who went off on a solo camping trip. 76 years old, and boy, his family was concerned, and they eventually said, we got to put out the alarm bells. They reached out to the sheriff, and the Yavapai County Sheriff's Office confirmed. They got out there and they found him, Mark Eric Young, and he lives in Verde Valley, and he went over to the Bloody Basin Road area. And it looks like he's really not any worse for the wear. Look, they'd put out the missing person posters, and they were getting him out. From what I understand, it was kind of a rugged area, and the searchers were in the area, but still had a hard time locating him. I don't know if he was, down in a, on a little bit of a canyon or what was going on, but eventually they reached him, and people every day, they say, I don't watch the news because it's all bad news. Well, how about this? This is good news.
I know.
Right?
Well, I just think it's really remarkable that he's a more mature gentleman.
Yes.
And he survived that many days out and maybe that's why he survived, because he knew how to do it.
By the way, you 70-year-old viewers, now just refer to yourself as more mature.
Yes.
Celeste.
I mean, what is middle-aged? It's
Correct.
a number. It's just a number.
People live to 110 now.
They do.
Okay, one other quick story here, and it has to do with this wild weather back on the East Coast. So we are going to drop back down into the 80s for like a week going into the month of May, and we couldn't be happier. But see what they were dealing with in Rhode Island? They had a hailstorm come down there. It looks to me like it's kind of hail mixed with rain. But the temperatures dipped down to about freezing overnight in Exeter, which is outside of Providence. And how about that? I mean, we also showed some pictures of places where they're getting snow in the country. It's been a really wild spring.
It is so crazy. It's going to be 87 for the high on Saturday and then like 80 or 81 on Sunday here in the Valley.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really, really beautiful.
Okay, no kidding.
All right. Beautiful shot there of another city around the country.
Yep.
So we have a special guest here in studio. Good morning. Nice to see you. Is it Nick Mansour? Mansour, you state treasurer candidate, and welcome to FTT. Appreciate you coming in.
I kind of want to talk about 2 tacos for 99 cents, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, if you get into office and you could guarantee that for your whole 4 years,
I don't think I could do that.
I think you might have our vote if that's the case. Tell us why you decided to run for treasurer.
Yeah, I'm running for the treasurer's office because I think there's a lot we can do with this office, a lot more that we can do with this office. I'm specifically focused on using our resources wisely, especially around education. We have an endowment fund in our state that we could be investing more wisely and could yield a lot of additional money that we could use in various ways, including investing more in education. I'm running to make sure we are eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse, and I want to bring some transparency to the office.
I wonder if some of our viewers are thinking, wow, does a treasurer have that much discretion? Doesn't the legislature decide where the money's going to get spent? What do you say to that?
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends on which one of the things I just talked about you're talking about. But to do something like change how we're in investing this endowment fund that I mentioned would require the legislature and the governor to get on board as well.
But what about some of this maybe extra spending for education you just mentioned?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the big thing that the treasurer's office can do on their own is I'm sure as you're familiar, we have a voucher program where we reimburse people for homeschooling their kids up to $7,000 a year, and there's been some well-documented issues of waste or misuse or fraud or however you want to characterize it. I do think the treasurer can do more to eliminate that.
So how do you...
and save that money for the schools.
Yeah, how do you eliminate the waste, fraud, and abuse?
Yeah.
And yet... my understanding is now when these funds come in and somebody's homeschooling their child, say they want to it's almost like de facto PE classes. There are these businesses now that have sprung up, small mom and pop type businesses that are able to use some of those ESA funds to, make their business successful, and at the same time give these kids, an hour of PE training 3 days a week. How do you keep that in place but get rid of the bad stuff?
Yeah, I think the mechanisms are there actually. So there's a handbook that sort of gives you some guidelines on what you can and can't do, and the waste I'm talking about are things like people using the money for kitchen appliances or jewelry or trips to SeaWorld and some of the other things we're talking about. Those are clearly outside of what they should be used for, and we're just not really auditing those expenses well today.
Other than the ESA, are there any other action items when you look at, the budget here across the state of Arizona that you would change or alter or realign?
Well, I do think a big thing for me is we have this endowment fund. It's a $10 billion fund. It's for the benefit of education. Lots of people don't know about it. We should know about this. It's a very valuable resource for our state, and we could be investing it better. And
where is it invested right now?
Yeah, it's and that's a tax-free way that we can increase funding for education and other things. So the way it's invested right now is we invest it, going to be very general, but we invest it in bonds or we invest it in index funds. And I'm not actually suggesting we change where we invest it, just the allocation between those two. We're doing too much in one and not enough in the other.
Interesting. So in other words, you could move some of it. It's the bond funds that don't do that well, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they're lower return funds, and you could move some of that to the index funds. But again, you pointed out earlier, we will need to get the legislature and the governor on board with this.
What if you could, because we just have like another minute or so, but if you could describe the state of our finances here in Arizona, in terms of the big picture.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have a balanced budget act, so every year we've got to have a balanced budget. But, with the one big beautiful bill, we've got to be very, very wise about how we're spending our money, which comes back to let's eliminate waste where we can. Let's make sure we're spending the money appropriately, and let's take advantage of the resources we have. And there are only 10 states that have a resource like this endowment fund that I'm talking about.
Interesting.
And we are lucky to have it, so we should use it wisely.
Okay.
Well, we appreciate your time. It's going to be really interesting to see how the race unfolds.
That's right. Nick, nice to see you. Thank you for your time here. Good luck.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming and seeing us. Break time. Ty and Anita are coming up next on FTT.
Have a great day.
Welcome on into Fox 10 Talks now at 11 o'clock. We have another jam-packed show for you on this Tuesday.
I dread the day that our show is not jam-packed.
You know what? We always cram it all in. We got a lot going on, and we're going to start with this. Obviously, last week, we were talking about it. It was Country Thunder.
Oh, how many thousands of people were down in the Florence area listening to fantastic music, and how many hundreds of people lost items?
That's exactly what we're talking about, because there was a really funny a post that the Pinal County Sheriff's Office put up with just tons of lost items. So guess what? We have the Sheriff of Pinal County joining us live via Zoom this morning. Sheriff Teeples, good morning, sir.
Good morning to you guys. I hope you're having a great day.
Great hat. Look at you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we saw you actually prior to the event. You were out there in a golf cart warning people to behave, make sure not to, get intoxicated. So hopefully all went well. And now it's the cleanup process, if you will, where you're trying to reunite people with their stuff.
Yes, that's exactly right. It's always an aftermath of our redneck Woodstock is trying to get people with their property back.
So let's talk about this, because you posted, and I think we have some video. I'm going to play it now of just some of the items. That's not it.
That's not it.
That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. There we go.
Yay!
That's it. This is just some of the items that you guys found. I mean, we have IDs, glasses, contacts, cards. Walk us through just kind of what you guys found.
Well, I tell you, people come to Country Thunder and they usually lose three things. One of three things: their dignity, their virtue, or their property.
Uh-oh.
Okay, wait. Okay, what are these unmentionables? That would be the dignity or the virtue. What are we talking about here, Sheriff?
Well, I will tell you the funniest thing that I have from this year is after we were done with Sunday night, it was a great concert, but after we were done, there was a wheelchair that was left in the bowl. And I think Brooks and Dunn did a really good job on stage, but they must have magically healed someone and they were able to walk out of the bowl and leave the wheelchair behind.
We like that. I mean, that's a good one.
Well, yeah.
That is a good one.
Yeah, you have to think about that. It's like, did you not need it? Did someone carry you out? What's the story? That's the thing. We want to hear the story behind it. We're looking at a picture here. Bracelets, contact lens cases, glasses. I mean, where are you guys finding this? Just littered on the ground, or people leaving stuff on stages?
Yes, people leaving stuff on stages. Usually it's littered on the ground afterwards. There's just a sea of trash, and when they go to clean it all up, they'll find the driver's licenses and the wallets. We get a lot of people from the campsites that we're turning in. There's a lost and found at Country Thunder while Country Thunder's going on. So if you're a camper and you locate stuff, a lot of honest people out there that will turn in the wallets and the IDs, sometimes cell phones, and then at the end of Country Thunder, they turn them into us, and it goes into my evidence yard. And people can reach out to Pinal County evidence to see if their property's lost. We got keys for vehicles.
I mean, it is just
how are they leaving the property without their keys? Did anyone leave their car?
And they shouldn't be leaving the property without their driver's licenses.
Yeah.
So it's a double mystery.
Okay, Sheriff, just an idea. I saw a slew of credit cards there. What if you use them like a little service fee for the cleanup on the credit card? If you leave your credit card behind, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, just a little convenience fee.
Yeah.
Right. Let's talk about this, because obviously Country Thunder is such a huge event. It seems to get bigger and bigger every single year with huge names coming down to Florence. Just kind of give us how it went as far as a law enforcement perspective.
It went really great this year. Absolutely, the crowd was there to be entertained. And I said this for years. I was the daytime campground supervisor out there for 6 years. And it's their party. Pinal County Sheriff's Office and Country Thunder just maintains their party. And this year, everyone wanted to have fun for the most part.
I love it.
Is this your favorite event as sheriff?
We look forward to it every year, but I will tell you our favorite part about it is Monday morning when everybody starts rolling home.
Right? Yeah. Well, it's such a huge event. You guys do a fantastic job down there in Pinal County to make sure everybody is safe. Again, we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Give us that email address or that website one more time if folks were at Country Thunder and they're like, hey, I'm missing my ID, my wheelchair, my whatever.
It's great. It's PCSO for Pinal County Sheriff's Office, so PCSO evidence at pinal.gov.
I think next year we're going to send a crew to help you with the cleanup.
Yeah, that would be
and
a
that
fun
way we
story.
can just get like video of everything that you're picking up.
Yeah, especially if the crew wants to come out like Sunday morning or Saturday morning so they can take a video from the stage and just show the sea of trash that's left behind.
Oh, no.
What a great job Country Thunder does to clean that all up so it's pristine for the next night's event.
It'll be even bigger next year, I have a feeling. Thank you, Sheriff. Be safe.
Sheriff Ross Teeple, we appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
It's an honor to serve.
Yeah.
Have a good one. Thank you.
That was fun.
Yeah, I saw that on Instagram and I was like, we have got to reach out because
You've
there
been
was just
working hard to
so
get that.
many random things that were left behind, and you kind of wonder, how did they forget that?
The sheriff didn't answer my question, though. I said, what are the unmentionables that people left behind?
Yeah, he didn't want to get into that. He was keeping it PG here on Fox 10 Talks.
You know.
Our other big story that we were talking about, of course, gas prices. If you have gone to the pump lately, you know just how expensive it has been. And obviously this is because of the conflict that we are seeing happening in Iran, Strait of Hormuz being closed down, shipments of crude oil can't be getting through. And that's why we're seeing the price today actually going up about $3, kind of flirting with that $90 a barrel mark.
It fell a little bit this past Friday because when I went to go fuel up, we were pretty pleased by, just dropped a few cents, but it's better than going up. The problem is that they had those peace talks over the weekend in Pakistan that did not result in anything. Nothing came to fruition. Allegedly going back today, we have another round, but will that be enough? We've talked to a number of experts who have said even if the war were to end now, it's still going to take 6 months for these prices to come down. So we want to bring in our next expert, a petroleum analyst, Thomas Kloza. Good morning to you.
And Thomas, give us just 1 second. We're just going to work to get your audio here. We should be good to go. There we go, Thomas. All right, apologize about that.
There we go. Perfect.
Let's jump right into this. I mean, we have seen those prices for crude oil jump since this conflict began in the Middle East. And as Anita mentioned, we have been talking to some analysts who say gas prices are real quick to go up, but take a real long time to start to come down. I know you don't have a crystal ball, but just where are we with this and where are we headed?
I think we're back on the up ramp. There was a false sense of restoration last week that maybe the war might be over and the exits of crude oil from the Strait would resume, but we haven't seen that. And now it looks like the ceasefire is going to end and the boats aren't leaving with crude oil. So we're still hemorrhaging about 14 or 15 million barrels a day of crude oil that's not leaving the region and not making it to destination. So the most pain is being felt in Asia, Africa, and to a certain extent Europe, but we're not immune from it here.
Yeah, well, Europe was saying last week that they have about, 6 weeks of fuel left. I would imagine, I know that we're not there, we're not in Europe, we're not in Asia, but that's going to be somehow, I would imagine, Thomas, a trickle-down effect that we're going to feel in some way.
Yeah, I mean, the price of jet fuel has pretty much doubled since the end of February, and we're okay on jet fuel. About 7% of what we run in terms of crude oil gets turned into jet fuel, and we make a lot more than we need, and we export some. Europe depends on imports. So I don't think they're going to run out necessarily, but they are moving to cut flights, and we'll probably see a little bit of that here. The problem is more Western than anywhere else because the West Coast of the United States depends on some jet fuel imports, and you've got 3 refineries that are kind of suffering with some late April problems, and that's not good for the Western states to depend on California for fuel.
Thomas, can you just explain? I was reading an article and they were saying that the Strait of Hormuz, there's about 20% of the world's oil goes through the Strait of Hormuz. To me, 20% doesn't sound like a lot, and yet it's really affecting the global energy markets here. Can you just kind of put this in perspective?
It is. I understand the conundrum there, but I think what happens at the margins really impacts things. Your temperature is 98.6 degrees, so if you only drop by 3 or 4 percentage points, it doesn't sound like much, but you're probably dead. So, the fact that we depend, or the world depends on 20% of their oil from that region is a pretty big deal. And before this, we had this huge cushion. People were calling it the super glut. Well, the super glut has run into its kryptonite in the Strait of Hormuz with the product pretty much embargoed or not leaving at the moment.
So all these experts that we've talked to, and you might agree, this is where we want to get your opinion, say if the war were to end, let's say they reach some type of deal today, and we can wrap this up within the next couple of weeks, these prices won't be coming down for the next 6 months. Why does it take so long to get back down?
Well, I think they would come down, but I don't think they would come down to where we were before the war started. We're talking about $4.02 nationally, and I think you guys are about 50 or 60 cents above that now. You would come down if there was a lasting peace and the crude oil flows resume. Problem is, this is going to haunt us not just for the rest of the year in terms of higher crude and higher refined products prices, but even in 2027. A country like China was pretty much insulated from a lot of this because they had been building up their own strategic petroleum reserve in 2024 and 2025. Well, guess what? A lot of other countries are going to look to build their reserves in the event something like this could happen again. This is kind of a once-in-a-lifetime event, or at least we hope so.
Yeah.
And it's going to haunt the U.S. markets and the rest of the world for years to come.
Yeah, and you kind of mentioned it, but it seems like whenever we see those prices of crude oil going up, we see that Dow reacting in the exact opposite way. So I think this is just kind of just shows just how embedded these oil prices are with the world economy. Thomas, we've got about a minute left here. I guess just your bottom line takeaway is I guess, what do you hope will happen here, and how can we see that happen?
Well, I think we're going to be dealing with high prices for the rest of the second quarter. They may strike a deal in the next 24 hours, but you need to have the insurance companies basically come in and say, yeah, we're going to insure the tankers that are moving through the Strait of Hormuz. And we've lost about 500 million barrels of crude oil. That's the most, that's just an incredible amount. So we've lost the cushion. There's no safety net anymore. We're like the Wallenda brothers, just sort of the Wallenda family walking on the tightrope with no safety net below.
Well, Thomas, we do appreciate your insight and your time this morning. It was very thoughtful and interesting, so we appreciate your time.
Take care. Thank you. Nice to have you.
Okay, we're going to take a quick 2-minute break. More to come on the other side.
All right, welcome back. We're going to keep things rolling here at 11 o'clock.
Okay, so our next guest, we wanted to introduce a business analyst. And we're going to talk a little bit about the tariffs because at this point, starting yesterday, businesses who had to pay tariffs are now able to apply for a refund. However, not every business is eligible.
And this is all because of a Supreme Court ruling. So we want to bring in our next guest, Parag Amin. He is the founder of the law offices of Parag Amin. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Thanks for taking the time to talk to us. Can we just back up a little bit and let's talk about what the Supreme Court said as far as those Trump tariffs and what we're seeing today?
So what the U.S. Supreme Court said is that President Trump's use of the tariff power was an overstretch of the president's power. So what the president did is claim that the United States had an emergency, and it was a national emergency under which he had issued these tariffs, which is essentially another name for a tax. And the United States Constitution squarely places that right with Congress. And Congress had not authorized these tariffs. And so the U.S. Supreme Court said that President Trump exceeded his powers in allowing all of these tariffs to go through and imposing all of these tariffs. And so they rolled that back and said that they were unlawful, they were unconstitutional. And now we're in the process of trying to give people their money back, the businesses who had paid all of these billions and billions and billions of dollars of tariffs.
And there was a difference between actually paying the tariffs or perhaps maybe paying taxes or paying it in a different way. So who is eligible now to apply for this refund, and how would they find out? How do they know?
So it's going to be a tiered system. The best way to find out is to go to the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol's website, and it's going to be done in different phases. Right now, they're starting with the most recently liquidated tariffs, and said differently, liquidated means that it was calculated, the amount was tentatively finalized or very recently paid, and they want to start with those companies first because those are the ones most recently calculated and potentially the easiest to be able to start with those refunds. And then what's going to happen is there's going to be additional businesses that can then apply if they're beyond that 80-day window for them to be able to apply for these tariff refunds. And the people, or the companies rather, that can apply for these tariff refunds are the ones that have directly paid the tariffs. So said differently, unfortunately for all of us consumers who ended up buying products that were subject to tariffs, we are a little bit out of luck, and that we are not going to be able to directly apply for tariff refunds.
Do we have any idea, a ballpark figure of how much money the federal government could be giving back to some of these businesses that were taxed with this tariff, those tariff increases?
Yeah, so estimates put it at about $166 billion.
Is there any cap from the Supreme Court as far as how much they are willing to have the federal government give back, or is that kind of the top?
Well, that generally may be the top. I've seen some estimates go a little bit higher than that at about $175 billion. The reality is that this is going to be a running number and tally, because you've got to remember that not all of the tariffs were ruled as unconstitutional. There are lawful tariffs that have been enacted by Congress and there are being lawfully charged. And so those tariffs are still allowed. And many of the companies who have imported goods may have been subject to lawful tariffs, which they cannot get back, but the unlawful tariffs, they can apply and get that refund back, but they have to prove a number of things. It's going to be a long process. It's going to be a bureaucratic process, and you have to prove what you imported, how much you paid in tariffs, what the items were, and then you've got to submit that paperwork. And then when Customs and Border Patrol get to it, they will then start processing those refunds to give back to the businesses.
I actually wanted to ask you about that proof, because that's something that we talked about earlier this morning in some of our scripts, where we were saying it might be difficult for some businesses to actually prove that they paid these tariffs. I would think that once they were, when they were enacted, maybe the business owner said, well, this isn't going to be right. So let's say, are we talking about like when we pay our taxes, we need a simple receipt? What type of proof? How do you produce this proof?
So typically it goes to the importer of record. So those companies are the ones who are directly importing these items, or those logistics carriers that are importing these items and paying the tariffs directly. So they will have a ledger of all of the items that have been shipped in, and they will have to be able to produce what they paid out in tariffs, because there is a lot of paperwork when it comes to import and export of products. And so when it comes to those goods, there is going to be a whole receipt that essentially lays out every item and the amount of payments that have been paid for those items, including the various tariffs that have been levied for those goods. And so that is just a matter of record keeping. All import-export companies are required by law to keep those records. And so certainly if somebody is compliant with the law, they should be able to get those records, even if it is a tedious process to sort through it and to put together this refund request to the federal government.
We're running out of time here, but I had one last question. I know this only started yesterday, but are you hearing from any businesses as far as how the process is going so far?
Yes. So I've had several clients contact me already. I've heard about problems with the government website in terms of being able to process refunds, including for some business owners. It's saying that they've already submitted a refund request when they have no record of ever having submitted a refund. And so this could be a potential glitch or potential fraud. That remains to be seen and investigated as to why that's happening to many business owners.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. We'll put your information up in the chat just in case anyone wants to get a hold of you. Really great insight. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Obviously, we're getting close to the summer vacation season.
Correct.
Where folks are going to be looking to go do a little R&R. But guess what? April is also National Volunteer Month. So there's kind of a new trend where folks are actually going on vacation, but then volunteering or giving back to the local community.
Oh, I love that.
We did a story not too long ago, and it always stuck with me because I thought it was genius. There was a group of flight attendants who work for British Airways. Whenever they would fly a trip to Phoenix, they would go to some of our local dog shelters and go take them for a walk.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Because they got to get out and explore the city, but they also got to give back to dogs.
And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to spend, your entire vacation doing something and giving back, but a day or two, a couple of hours. It's called Purposeful Travel, which is really interesting. So our next guest,
we're still getting his connection.
Yeah, we're still trying to get him connected, is going to talk a little bit about that. It is a simple way to get back, but also a fantastic way to get to know other communities
and cultures. Even if maybe if you're traveling overseas, you get to go do something like that. I did a study abroad to Mexico, and one of the most memorable things, we went and visited an orphanage for the day as kind of a group, and it was so much fun, and it was kind of one of the most memorable experiences that I had in our time in Mexico was hanging out at the orphanage.
Another thing too is I know I have a friend who does a lot of beach vacations with the kids, and they buy all these like toys and books that her son, he's now older, can take on the beach vacation. They always travel to Hawaii, but then all of that would then be donated to a local like shelter, orphanage, just as a way to teach her son to give back and to make a difference.
So here we go. Our guest is ready. We have Barry Hoffner joining us this morning. Mr. Hoffner, good morning. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Good morning, and thank you very much for having me.
Good morning. So what is purposeful? I know we've been breaking it down a little bit, but in your definition, your eyes, what is purposeful travel?
I mean, I think it could take many forms. It can take the form I took by starting to do humanitarian work in West Africa from an initial travel there almost 17 years ago, where we've built schools in Mali in West Africa, and we've scholarshiped women to university. But it can also take the form of just curiosity or interest, or making a sincere effort to understand a culture, to connect with people.
So this sounds like a fantastic, thing to do. How do you research, though, I guess, ways to give back when you're on vacation if you're going to a certain destination?
Well, I do think there are many charities that one can look up that are doing work in destinations all over the world. But the other thing is sometimes, I don't know, if you're open to it, an idea floats in your mind like it did for me when I was in West Africa 17 years ago for the first time. And then you just take that first step forward and you never can really realize where it goes 17 years later until you just take that first step. Sometimes it's just a matter of finding something and saying, you know what, I'm going to commit myself to trying to do something here and then seeing where it goes from there.
Does it have to be big, like building orphanages? Can it be something small?
It certainly can. I mean, let's say you just connect with a guide in a certain country that you happen to really like and care for, and maybe you just make a small contribution or you send something, or it can be really anything. I think it makes you, giving back and purposeful travel makes you feel more connected to the places that you visit, and ends up, I think, benefiting you as much as it does the person that you're trying to give to.
Yeah, we just we're talking about that. I did a study abroad in Mexico, and one of the days that we went was to an orphanage, and that's one of the things I remember the most of that whole experience was getting to hang out with these kids. I think it really does kind of elevate that excursion or that vacation, so to speak.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when I lost my wife in a tragic accident in Africa about 8 years ago, I first really started traveling again with my boys at university, just kind of as an escape, and then kind of seeing new landscapes and famous places. But as I traveled more, I realized what I was really enjoying was just the heart-to-heart connection with people that was just life-affirming and uplifting and made the world feel small to me.
Yeah. Such a fantastic way, it seems, to also teach children. When you're doing that family trip, and whether it is donating the books and the toys that they got for the trip, or maybe going the next level, doing something bigger, it's a really great way to teach them to give back.
Yeah, it certainly is, because, that's what life is all about, having great experiences, but also finding that source within that makes you feel good about helping others.
Barry, we have 30 seconds left. Do you have a web page that folks can go get more information about this?
I sure do. My book is Belonging to the World. So that's www.belongingtotheworld.com. Please order my book. It's a story of love, loss, and healing by connecting with people all around the world. And the side benefit is all the proceeds from that book go to scholarships for women in West Africa in my late wife's name.
Barry, we appreciate it, Barry.
Thank you.
And it's a pretty nice looking day in the Valley of the Sun. And we've got that view as well for you this morning. You know, we scanned these cameras. It looks like a nice day just about everywhere, except on the East Coast, Des. You were saying that you were chatting with your parents, and one day it was 80 and the next day it snowed.
Yeah, and I can't remember if the 80-degree day was Sunday and then it snowed yesterday, Monday, or if it was the weekend days. But yeah, either way, it was literally 80 degrees one day, and the very next they woke up to snow. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's wild.
So we have to be ready for that. But when you go back to our shot of the view of downtown Phoenix, holy cow, man. I mean, it is so nice. And just the fact that we basically now are looking at 80 degrees, 80-ish, right? Mm-hmm. Right into the month of May is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, that's nice. We'll take it. We had a rough March.
Oh, my gosh. Seriously, I think the main thing that people didn't like about the 106 was the fear that meant, well, then we're just going to go to 115 in May.
Oh,
April
absolutely.
Or May.
Right. Could you imagine if that stayed with us through now? You couldn't make it through summer.
I know. People would be putting their houses up for sale.
Yeah, we were a little worried.
But we have seen it all, that's for sure. So thanks for joining us. This is FTT. We're going to be hanging out with you between now and 11:30. Folks are saying good morning. Like, look, there's Louis Gonzalez. Louis is super dedicated to our show.
Yes.
He is out there in the Gila Valley, Safford, Thatcher, and Pima. And he's saying, good morning, Des, and welcome back, Ron. So it's all
good morning,
great.
Louis.
Yeah.
Hope you're having a good day.
For sure. All right. So let's get on to some of the big stories of the morning. We are keeping a close eye. Let me just pop up here on ENG23 what's happening with the market. So we were in green, and I mean, we were well into the green, up almost 300 points. And then, Des, it all went away. And we have been in the red ever since. And so when that happens, when there's like a big reversal, I try to dig into it a little bit.
Yeah, what's going on?
And it sounds like the Iranians are now kind of playing hardball when it comes to negotiating. The president was ready to, J.D. Vance was literally all set and ready to go. All they needed was the word, and he would head to Pakistan, and the negotiations would continue. But the New York Times has a source that is saying the Iranians are really not that interested in talking peace right now. They think they can play the long game and not feel like they can necessarily have to come to a deal right now. Maybe they wait a few months. The market did not like the sound of that.
No, not at all. It's reacting to that for sure. And I don't think the president's going to like the sound of that either.
Yeah, I don't think so. And of course, then it just raises the specter of, does this mean, because the ceasefire ends tomorrow, and so does this mean that we are potentially headed back to full-on military conflict? That's, what people are afraid of.
And then that's what the president is threatening, right? To,
Correct.
Release bombs if they don't get some sort of agreement underway here. And he's been pretty adamant that he doesn't want to be rushed into a bad deal.
Yes, right. That is so interesting that you bring that up, because I saw an interview with, now this, for example, this is one thing I don't think you would see in Iran. In the UAE, they have women in some of the very top posts in their government. And she was doing an interview, I think it was maybe with ABC, something like that. And she was like, they have aimed more missiles and drones at us in the UAE than even Israel, their supposed, world's enemy, as they look at Israel. And so the question was, why is that happening? And she said, basically, we're everything they're not. We believe in multiculturalism. We believe in allowing women to take the top posts in the government, and welcoming people of all cultures and religions and that kind of thing. And it's all, and being a part of the world. We have Dubai, one of the great cities of the world, Right.
And we know that's not what these leaders in Iran are teaching and believing in.
Exactly. So, we're going to see what happens over the next few days. But anyway, here's just a little bit more about what was being said about it from the press.
If we sign the agreement, then I can give you time somewhere after the signing of the agreement. We'll go in with Iran. We'll go in with Iran, and we will take it together, and we will bring it back, 100% of it, back to the United States.
We will continue to force votes on our resolution every single week that Trump's war continues.
Okay, so you heard both sides of it there. A comment as well from Chuck Schumer. And the thing about it is, Des, that it's very easy to get sucked into the minute-by-minute of it. And it's just like they say some days on a bad day, don't check your 401k, because on one day it can really go down or one day it can really go up. And who knows? Right now it looks like the talks are off. But 12 hours from now they could be back on. Or we could be back into full-fledged military conflict in 48 hours. It's better to step away and not worry about it minute by minute.
Yeah, and obviously in following the latest on the blockade, too. We hit an Iranian tanker over the weekend for an attempt to try to violate the U.S. naval blockade. And, we're still seeing some of that working. The president has touted that as being tremendously successful, but we'll see.
Yeah, I heard that several dozen ships have been turned away from Iranian ports, and I know they don't like that. But at the same time, that ship would not have tried to run the blockade unless somebody higher up had said, go ahead and do it. Obviously, right? Yeah. So they were testing the U.S. resolve, and that's where everything stands. Now, this other story, though, about the missing and dead scientists, people are really starting to tune in on this because at least 11 of them have died or gone missing in the last about 3.5 years.
Wow, look at this timeline.
Right.
And the first dating back to June 11th of 2022. But most recently, we have two scientists, Anthony Chavez, a 78-year-old retired laboratory employee, vanished on May 4th of 2025. So that's last year, from Los Alamos, New Mexico. They say that his wallet, his keys, car, all left at home. There were no signs of forced entry. And then the other scientist, Melissa Casillas, a 53-year-old, she was an administrative staff there with security clearance at the laboratory. She was reported missing then in June of last year. So there you have those two disappearances, just a month essentially apart from each other.
Yeah. And now this map, that's new. Look at a couple in California, several in New Mexico because of the connection to Los Alamos, and then others kind of scattered across the country. I don't know. Is there something nefarious going on? Is it possible that there's really no connection, but it's just been happening? I'm sure we have literally thousands of people that are either employed in our national laboratory testing systems, but it sure does look bad.
It does. Enough so that the White House is willing to look into it, and the president even is very concerned. And all of them had pretty high level clearance too. So that is a kind of an odd underlying coincidence, or
makes you wonder. Okay, so the other story that a lot of people are talking about today is dynamic pricing. Now, look. I'm trying to remember when the first time was I heard the phrase.
Who came up with that?
Dynamic pricing, really? But I didn't like it the first time I heard it.
Yeah, no, not cool.
Right?
Or I don't know what else to call it besides
cool,
ridiculous.
I think is a pretty good way to go. So the story comes out of Maryland, where they have a governor there, Wes Moore. I keep telling people, keep an eye on Wes Moore. I think he's got a really bright political future. I'm not going to be shocked if he's a presidential candidate at some point in the future. But it was part of his agenda, and the legislature has gone along with it. And it looks like they're moving forward on a bill that will say, no, you cannot use your technology to adjust your prices with those little electronic signs. I like walking into a grocery store and seeing, okay, pears are $2.99 a pound or whatever, like handwritten or printed out. I don't like the idea of thinking, wait a minute, didn't that price, I was here at the grocery store this morning, and now isn't that price $1 more?
Right. Well, essentially, they were changing the price depending on what, like traffic they were seeing in the grocery store, the busy time of day. That's just wrong.
Right.
Yeah. The price should be the price.
So here's what's funny about this, Des. Last hour with Bella and Celeste, we were talking about it, and everybody's like, I don't like the sound of that at all. And then it came out that McDonald's with their new value menu, which is the $3 or less menu, that occasionally they're going to spotlight certain items and lower the price. And you won't necessarily know when.
Okay, dynamic pricing there as well. Come on.
But to the downside, we're like, maybe that's not so bad.
So then it'll work in our favor, I guess. Just download the McDonald's app and collect points.
Yeah, I'm with you, Des. That app is amazing. All right, so here we go. Do we need new laws to stop dynamic pricing? These numbers are not really moving around too much, but we get a lot more votes. 81% say, yeah, they should not be allowed to change the prices by the hour. 16% are saying, no, don't we have enough laws already? And 3% are saying maybe someday, but right now it doesn't seem to be a big problem.
Well, and look at here on YouTube, the numbers are kind of similar. I believe 81% still here in this poll say yes, they shouldn't be allowed to change prices by the hour. 15% say no. Don't we have enough laws already? 5% are saying maybe someday, but it's not a big enough problem right now.
Are you guys able to refresh that poll? Because right now we're showing 300, and I know last hour we had over 1,000. I don't know. Anybody got the refresh button?
Did we have that many votes? Yeah, this one says 314 votes.
Yeah,
right now,
I think we're actually pushing 2,000 votes right now. So we'll look for the refresh button and be sure to give you the latest on that. All right, Des, fastest moving 12 minutes in the TV biz.
Yeah, how did
we
that
already
happen?
have to take a break, right?
Yeah, we're coming up on a break. So that means mystery cam time.
Okay.
So let's get in the chat here. You guys are pretty active today, chatting back and forth, putting some points of view on in the chat room. So if you can, get your guesses in for the mystery cam here.
Okay, we take a quick 2-minute break, and coming up next, Dr. Brecken Blades. She's running a forensics company. She started as an intern. Now she runs the whole company. It's quite a story. Coming up next. Okay, Mystery Cam, Des. I feel like we're all over the map and we're getting some great guesses.
Yeah, we are. I like, is it, I haven't seen this person, Lonely Road Traveler?
Welcome, Lonely Road.
Welcome.
Do you mind if we call you Lonely Road?
Right, for sure.
Okay.
Is that all right? Poconos. I like that guess.
Okay, I could see that. By the way, Lonely Road, tell us where you're watching from. Maybe he or she is out there on the road right now.
Yeah. Oh, and then, Pennsylvania, bet. So we'll see. Low Philosophy says somewhere in Kentucky.
Okay.
I don't know. What do you think of Louis' guess?
It's hard to go against Louis. I feel like I've seen this picture once before, Des, and it was in the wintertime, and it was frozen. But I don't remember where that would have been. I guess...
My initial
guess.
What
was the first thing you thought?
I think it's wrong.
Okay.
I just thought Watkins Glen.
Oh, New York.
New York, but
Okay.
I don't know if that's just because it reminds me of it, or so I don't know. That'll be my guess.
Is that close to Buffalo?
No,
to your
it's like
hometown?
Finger Lakes, so it's more mid-state. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't
So
know.
you're going
We'll
New
see.
York.
Yeah, I'll go New York.
And I like Lonely Road has changed his or her mind and now says it's a Litchfield Park.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, wait. That's where he or she is in Litchfield.
Oh, in
Park.
Litchfield. Oh, okay. Oh, welcome, Lonely Road. Yeah, okay. I was
Okay,
like,
I'm going to go with Lonely Road and go Pennsylvania. All right. So what do we think? Is it New York? Is it a Pennsylvania? Ladies and gentlemen,
Well, let's find
here
out.
she is with the answer.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Oh, it is Holly, Pennsylvania. And it's written out today. Do you guys want to see that?
Okay. Yeah. See, when Kelly's
I love
here,
that.
when Kelly's in for Dean, we get a chance to really observe his penmanship, and it's excellent.
That's pretty good. It's legible.
Yeah, it
Great
is.
job, Kelly.
Yeah. Hey, we have a guest we're really interested in chatting with this morning, and it is Brecken Blades. Do I have that correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And you are a doctor, and you now... Do I have this also correct? You own and run PCS Forensics?
I do.
Okay. Yeah. What got you first interested in the forensics world? It's fascinating, I think, to a lot of people.
Yes, it was fascinating to me too. When I
take that microphone, put it right up to.
Oh yeah, closer.
Like
nice and close. You almost want to kiss it, but not quite.
Okay,
but nice and loud. Yeah.
When I was in my doctoral psychology program, they start assigning students to clinical rotations sort of right out the gate. And I was actually assigned to the practice that I now own, which is called Psychological and Consulting Services. So a rather nondescript name.
Mm-hmm.
And when I found out that they worked with sort of a high-risk offender population, I actually was terrified. And I didn't really want to go. I think I cried in my car, and then I said, you got to go see what this is all about. And so I went in and I met with the man who became my mentor, and he was the founder of the practice. And I ended up loving it because I found that the work is about public safety and creating safer communities and communities with no more victims. And so I found it to be interesting and important, and I'm really passionate about it.
So on a day-to-day, what does your work and job look like as a forensic psychologist?
So my days are always different. Sometimes I'm in my office and I might meet with people that would be maybe counseling. It might be doing some different assessments that would look at their risk or personality features. A lot of times I travel off-site, so I will go inside of prisons, jails, the state hospital, wherever the individuals are that need to be evaluated.
So how does psychological forensics differ from the forensics we all think about from watching CSI?
Right. Sometimes people, I think it's maybe more exciting or involved than it is my day. I don't go to crime scenes. I don't do anything medical. So forensic psychology really has to do with the field or the knowledge of psychology being applied to the legal system. So I am in courtrooms. I'm in my office. I work with attorneys. I write a lot of reports. It's not sort of on the scene at a crime.
So give us for instance. You don't have to use any names, but what's the kind of jobs that you go out on?
So most specifically, I specialize in the assessment and treatment of sexual misbehavior. So that's all the way from youth who act out up through people who are determined sexually violent persons and they're civilly committed to the state hospital. It's the whole gamut of individuals convicted of those behaviors and other high-risk behaviors. So it's those kinds of cases.
And this is, I don't know if it's too hard to generalize, but amongst those cases, when we're looking at like a high-risk offender, are there underlying commonalities that you kind of see that they all tend to share?
There are. I mean, that's a great question. There's not one type of person that commits a sexual offense, but what they do all have in common is operating off of a system of mistaken beliefs, sort of distorted thinking errors that translate into justifying their behavior, rationalizing it, minimizing it, and sort of falling into we would call it a cycle of abuse that ends with them harming someone.
Oh, okay. And you're here because April is Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month.
Yes.
So, how do we try to prevent some of these cases beyond, we see campaigns for them, but what are things that the community can proactively do?
So actually, the state of Arizona just enacted a sex offender management board. And so I was appointed to the board, and I'm the vice chair of the board. And our goal as a board is to be victim focused, victim led, and with the idea of public safety, create accountability, consistency in how offenders are supervised, managed, treated. And so those are open public meetings. People are welcome to attend. I think it's important for parents and schools and everyone to be educated so that they can educate kids and those around them.
What are the kinds of, I want to try to make this as practical, so people are watching can have some real takeaways. What are the kinds of practical, say, warning signs that maybe you have somebody in your family, or a neighbor or a friend or something like that, and they're expressing concerns, and you want to maybe help them through that, with a young person, say with a teenager or somebody in their 20s, where they already feel like maybe something's not right. What steps can be taken?
The process of committing an offense is often not fast. A lot of times there's a buildup. So you can look for signs. You can look for sort of inappropriate boundaries. You can look for, at a school, maybe there's communication outside of official channels. Sometimes it looks like excusing disciplinary functions or giving special gifts. And so the best thing to do, I think, is ask. If you have a concern, ask the person. Maybe say, hey, I noticed that you've spent a lot of time with so-and-so. How do you feel about how they treat you? And open the door for them to communicate with you about it.
So how do we lower the risk? Let's say if you're a school, what's a good solution to lower the risk? If you're a parent, how do we lower it?
As a parent, I suggest that parents teach their kids about 4 different kinds of touching, not just 2.
What does that
And what
mean?
are what are the 4?
Yeah. So the 4 are good, bad, special, and secret. So a lot of times we just hear about good touch, bad touch. And unfortunately, what that does is then it makes maybe loving or romantic touch all fall into the category of bad. And we don't want that. So examples would be good touch would be getting a hug from your mom. Mm-hmm. It's good. Bad touch would be touch that harms someone. That's pushing someone, hitting them when you're talking about kids. Special touching would be romantic touching. That would be holding hands, or when you see your parents or your caregivers give each other a kiss, something like that. Secret touching is the kind that's the most problematic. So we want to educate kids that there never should be touching done in secret. It should always be able to be talked about. And if someone wants you to keep touching a secret, that is a problem. So that differentiates then between their ability to have kind of loving, intimate relationships in the future, and it's not bad.
Mm-hmm. I sometimes think that when we cover stories like this, and I don't know if the problem's getting better or worse, but that people want to know if progress is being made. And here you've really kind of devoted your life and your career to this. Is progress being made?
I think that it is. I think that this is a multifaceted long-standing issue, unfortunately, in our society. I think that Arizona's enactment of this management board is a huge step forward. Like I said, with the goals of public safety, community awareness, accountability, consistency, I think that that's a big step for our state.
Yeah, can you talk a little more about the board? So it's called the Arizona Sex Offender Management Board.
Yes.
Where do we find more information about it, and what is it that the board really does?
Right. So I don't speak on behalf of the board. Obviously, I'm a member of the board, but you could find, it has a page on the DPS, the Department of Public Safety website, and there's information on all of the meetings, the purpose. The goals are to kind of overhaul, streamline, you make sure that our practices in Arizona for treatment, evaluation, supervision of offenders are evidence-based and are effective and consistent statewide.
In our last minute or so, I want to just shift gears just slightly. Tell people what you have learned from being an intern to running a business, and you've watched it grow, but you've got to manage people, and you have hopes, for growing your business. What, just from a business standpoint now, not the specifics of what you do, what have you learned along the way? Because everybody, I think, wants to hear about a story that's like the great American story, right? Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, I have learned that it really requires a lot of hard work. And even though I own the practice now, there's not ever a job that I will not do. Like, I wipe the floor, I'll clean out the microwave. It's important to treat people with respect, like they want to be treated. When I hire someone, I'm looking for them to be hungry, humble, and smart. Do they have the drive? Are they humble about it? And are they quick and bright? And so my team has been the most important thing. I just really appreciate all the people I work with. That's made the difference.
You actually seem like you'd be great to work for. I don't know. You're very calming and just very relaxed and approachable. Yeah.
Okay, Doctor.
Awesome.
Tell us about the website where people can get more.
Our website is pcs-forensic.com, and that's where they would see all of the information about our practice.
Excellent.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Chat with you today.
Just like that, it's time for us to wrap up our show, and we really appreciate you guys spending some time with us today on Fox 10 Talks every morning, 10 a.m. till noon on the Fox Local app, on YouTube, and on TV as well. Des, we got to say goodbye for now.
That's it, you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday already, midweek. Have a great day.